Welcome everyone. Welcome to my channel TG Study. I am Tanmoy Ghosh. Today we will continue the topic Design of Steel Structure. It is lecture 2 of Design of Steel Structure. Today's topic is loads. In this video we will discuss all about the loads. That is, what are the types of loads and what are the conditions and effects are taken into consideration while designing the structure. So please watch the full video. Before entering my today's video, I want to tell something that if you are new in my channel TG Study, please subscribe my channel TG Study and to press the bell icon for such new videos. So let's start. Today's topic, loads. In this video we will learn briefly in different types of loads. If you don't have clear concept of loads, then this is for you. So don't skip the video and please watch the full video. Before entering today's topic, we have to know some definitions related to loads. From IS 800/2007, various terms have been used for loads in its different sections. These are working load. The maximum load to be supported by any structural member for which it is designed is called working load. Next, service load. The load that a structure is expected to support under normal uses is termed as service load. This load reflects the daily loading of the structure. Third one is nominal load. For design purpose, the nominal loads are the service loads and should be accounted for according to the code specification. The example of nominal loads are dead load and live load. Fourth one is design load. The design load is the maximum amount of load that a member is designed to handle or the maximum amount of load that the member can produce. Purpose of designing any elements members of a structure, the following loads and their effects shall be taken into account. The 8 types of loads I will discuss briefly. First one is dead load. The details of dead load is given IS 875 Part 1 1987. What is dead loads? Dead loads are the permanent load which is act vertically downward. Example of dead loads are weight of the structural elements such as beams, columns, etc. The dead load of the structure is not known before it is designed. It is so because the exact size and weight of the members are not known until the structural analysis is made and the sections of the structure are selected. Second one is live load or imposed load. Different types of imposed load are given in IS 875 Part 2 1987. Imposed loads are those which may change in position and magnitude. These are temporary loads of short duration due to the use of structure. As per IS 800/2007, the following loads are grouped as imposed load or live load. First one is impact load. What is impact load? It is applied suddenly on a member. It is mainly caused by the vibration of moving or movable loads. Second is earth pressure. While designing of structures below the ground level, that is basement, sheet piles, retaining walls, the pressure exerted by the soil must be considered. Next, water current load. The force exerted due to water current on the piers, abutments and other structures inside the water must be taken into consideration when designing. Next, thermal forces. Due to fluctuation in temperature, the structural members expand or contract and produce some loading effects in the member. Third one is wind loads. The force exerted by the horizontal component of wind is to be considered in the design of buildings, towers and other tall structures. The wind force depends upon the velocity of wind, shape of structure, size and location of structure. From clause number 5.3 of IS 875 part 3 1987, we can get wind load calculation. The design wind speed Vz is equal to K1 into K2 into K3 into Vb, where Vz is equal to design wind speed in meter per second. Vb is get from figure 1 of IS 875 part 3 1987. Vb means basic wind speed in meter per second. The value of K1 is given table 1 of IS 875 part 3, and table 2 we can get K2 factor, and clause number 5.3.3 we can get K3 factor, which is topography factor. Next, design wind pressure. From clause number 4 of IS 875 part 3 1987, we can get Pz is equal to 0.6 Vz square, where Pz is equal to design wind pressure in Newton per meter square. The wind pressure at any height of a structure depends on the following points. First one is velocity and density of the air, height above ground level, shape and aspect ratio of the building, and so on. Fourth one is earthquake or seismic loads. The earthquake loads on the structure during an earthquake result from inertia forces which were created by ground acceleration. The magnitude of these loads is a function of the following factors. First one is mass of the building, second is dynamic properties of the building, third one is the intensity, and last one duration of earthquake. The earthquake or seismic loads are described in IS 1893 2002. According to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to m into A, where m is equal to W by G. Then the formula will be F is equal to W into A by G, and then A by G is termed as C. Then C is the seismic base shear coefficient. Then the formula will be F is equal to W into C, where F is equal to seismic loading factor, W is weight of the building, G is gravitational constant, C is seismic base shear coefficient, M for mass of the structure, A for acceleration. Fifth one is erection loads. Erection loads produced during the construction, handling operation of heavy component erection, and in a big structural project, while designing the structure, erection loads may taken into consideration. Sixth one is snow and rain loads. The snow loads depends upon the latitude of the place. Snow is variable load that may cover an entire roof or part of it. The loads act vertically downward and may be assumed to be 2.5 Newton per meter square per millimeter depth of snow. Next, rain loads. Rain loads may be taken for flat roofs. The roof under such load deflects like a plate, can hold more water and cause greater deflections that may lead to failure. Seventh one is accidental loads. IS 875 part 5 1987 gives the guidelines to take care of accidental loads. The accidental loads arising out of human action includes the following. First one is impact loads. During an impact, the kinetic impact energy has to be absorbed by the vehicle hitting the structure itself. Common source of impact are vehicles, dropped object from cranes, lifts, etc., or cranes out of control and crane failure. Second is explosion. In IS 875 part 5 gives the codal requirements for explosive loads in details. The following types of explosions are to be considered in design. First is internal gas explosions, next internal dust explosions and boiler failure. Third is fire. Possible extraordinary loads during a fire may be considered as accidental actions. For example, loads from people along escape routes and loads on another structure from structure failure because of fire. Last one is secondary effects. The following types of secondary effects should be looked into the design. First is differential settlement of foundation and differential shortening of columns. Next, eccentric connections, and last one is rigidity of joints differing from design assumptions. There are some combination, that is load combination is given in IS 800/2007. There are 5 types of load combination. First one is the sum of dead load, live load and crane load. Second is dead load plus live load plus crane load plus wind load or earthquake load. Here we can see that wind load or earthquake load, it means the wind and earthquake pressure is not occur simultaneously. So for this reason only there is one load can consider. Third one is the sum of dead load and wind load or the sum of dead load and earthquake load. Fourth one is the sum of dead load plus erection load, and fifth one is dead load plus live load and accidental load. Next, some important factors which are connected to loads. We have to know these factors. First one is load factor. Load factor is the ratio of the theoretical design strain to maximum load expected in service. They are used in structural analysis to determine the design strain and compare it with maximum loads. Second one is factor of safety. Factor of safety is the ratio of structural capability to the actual applied loads. This is also termed as design factor or design factor of safety. Next, partial safety factor. It is defined as the factor used in the design of structure so that the value of the stresses coming on the structure due to applied loads does not exceed the design strain of the material used in the structure. The partial safety factor is mainly applied to the load and the material strain. So that's all for today's lecture, and we will be right back very soon with some new topics related to civil engineering.
If you like this video, please like my video, and if you are new in my channel TG Study, do subscribe my channel and to press the bell icon for such new videos. And if you think that this video was very helpful to you, so please share this video with your friends. And also if you learn more about this topic, so please visit our coaching center. Our coaching center is Engineers Point Academy, EPA. The full address is given in my about section and description box. You may go and check it. Thank you.